Hello all, it's the Gothiest Ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh. It's time for a review of MetallicA-72 Seasons. MetallicA is a thrash metal band, they're part of the Big Four, and I believe I mentioned them in the Megadeth review that I did. So we're gonna go out a limb here. We're going to name the Big Four right now, worst to best, in my opinion. Both great, but let's go. You got Megadeth, you got Anthrax, you got Slayer, and you got MetallicA. MetallicA, to me, has definitely been conceptually one of the best. Riff-wise, one of the best. Drumming, one of the best. Vocally, one of the best. Like, they've always brought something to the table back in their heyday. You know, like, Master of Puppets, to me, I don't think is fuckwithable. Like, it is unfuckwithable in comparison to the other thrash albums that have come out. And don't get me wrong, Slayer has dropped fire as well, such as Rain and Blood, Hell Awaits, and I could name others, but that's another video. And also you got Anthrax Among the Living, so you got that. But I digress. MetallicA, this is their 11th studio album. Album-wise, they've been at it for over a decade. However, they've been around since 1983, which is before I was born. So they've pretty much had like a good run in the 80s. They had Kill 'Em All, solid debut album, great album. But they were yet to come into their own there. Then you had Ride the Lightning, which was a fantastic thrash metal album, but their magnum opus, to me, is Master of Puppets. I feel conceptually, I feel like in terms of bringing creativity to the table, they definitely nailed it there. And then you had Injustice for All. However, I do feel like it lacked in bass. And I need the bass. Bass is my friend when it comes to rock. My best friend. So if it's not there and I can't hear it, I can't exactly feel it. But there were some highlights on there. But the mixing left a lot to be desired. Then we had Metallica Black Album, which is a great comeback album. I feel like even though it was going in more of a commercial direction, it wasn't bad in terms of commercial. The ballads on there were great, concepts were great, you had some catchy hooks on there, great riffing, great drumming, great vocals on there. Although it didn't really feel like anything that surpassed Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets, but still great, still a gem in their catalog. However, from there, they started going more of a southern rock route, a southern metal route, which led to some decent releases, some duds, but the biggest Achilles heel in their discography, in my opinion, is Saint Anger, where the mixing was awful, the writing was complete trash. Not a highlight in their career, probably the lowest in their career. Death Magnetic, though, was a little return to form. I do feel like they were definitely going thrashier again, but not exactly bringing the best. And then you got Hardwired, which is just loaded with a lot of rehashed ideas that came off stale. Highlights on there, but some stuff that came off stale. And honestly, I kind of feel the same way for 72 Seasons here, because while they are bringing it in terms of vocals, in terms of playing, I just can't help but feel like I've heard this type of composition before. I can't help but feel I've heard this chord progression before. Case in point, You Must Burn, which to me, the chord progression on there sounds very much like Sad But True. I don't know. Maybe I've heard a lot of Metallica, but when I listen to that song, I can't help but feel like I'm about to hear James go, sad but true. Like, if you do like a Pepsi taste test, listen to Sad But True, then listen to You Must Burn, and you'll see what I mean. And also, like, the lyrics come off as like the equivalent of lyrical miracle, if metal did lyrical miracle. Just like a bunch of words put together that don't really make too much sense, honestly. And I feel like they're going for poeticism here, but it just falls flat, at least for me. However, the intro here, 72 seasons. It's not how it goes, but 72 seasons gone. There we go. Like, I feel like the chunky riffs, the driving groove, James sounding more fiery than ever on here vocally. The thrash elements are back, rapid kicks, snares, speedy guitar playing, fiery solos. Like, Kirk Hammett is kicking ass on here. The band is kicking ass once again. And it's just great. I feel like right here they're working with something that works, kind of bringing a little polished approach to what works for them, and it hits. The song Screaming Suicide, though, I will say James is in his band. Of course he's in his band. He's in his bag vocally, and instrumentation-wise, they're in their bag. I just think that maybe there are some clumsy vocals here. There are some moments where I do feel it was just tacked on, like the spoken word passage. I didn't exactly need that. Shadows Fall pretty much just runs as a standard Metallica track. Sleepwalking Life, while James does sound good vocally, I can't help but be reminded of Enter Sandman in terms of the riffs, and Alice in Chains vocally. But honestly, we even get more of that on Crown of Barbed Wire, which sounds a little more apparent. Like, if you're a Alice in Chains fan, you know what I'm talking about. Like, when you hear the refrain, sound of barbed wire, like, that's very, very Alice in Chains. Let's be honest with ourselves here. However, I do dig the fiery guitar arpeggios on the back end of Shadows Fall, but it's that's one thing about this. Like, even though there are moments I dig, I just feel like they're painting themselves into a corner and just bringing us recycled bits. Like, it kind of sounds like leftovers of their greatest stuff, honestly. And Lux Aeterna, however, I do feel like it does remind me of Kill 'Em All. It's very melodic, very thrashy. Probably one of the most epic hooks on here, very catchy on here. Lux Aeterna! James sounds better doing it. And they're definitely bringing it here. Like, I love the melodic progression. I love the riffing on here. And Lars goes absolutely insane with the machine gun drumming. So, yeah, definitely a highlight here. Chasing the Lightning, I dig the sentiment. I like a good success story, rising up and achieving your goals and beating the setbacks. However, I just don't really find anything else compelling besides the message and a few, like, rapid playing on here. Other than that, I could just take or leave this track. If Darkness Had a Sun, it runs pretty one-dimensional, drags on a little too long, didn't really need it. Too Far Gone, though, I feel really captures the art of when they're at their best. James sounds fiery and passionate than ever. I love the harmonization of Kirk's guitars too. And James' vocals has like just a lot of punch to it, a lot of feel. And I love the drive, the groove, the intensity, the riffing. It sounds very empowering. It sounds energizing. It kind of sounds like Avenged Sevenfold when they try to rip off Metallica, if they're actually good at ripping off Metallica. I'm sorry, you can take that how you want. That's just how I feel. And Room of Mirrors definitely has like a serious message to it on mental health, which they haven't strayed away from before. But sonically, I don't think it exceeds anything that they brought here in that pocket, unfortunately. I kind of feel the same way about the closer, too. So, again, powerful message, but compositionally, it really leads to a tedious listen. So, yeah. I feel like this is the 11th studio album, and while James sounds great, he sounds amazing vocally, I feel like guitar-wise, drum-wise, there are highlights, but it's very inconsistent and very much just pulling from the past and trying to give sequels, and it just doesn't work sometimes, or a lot of the times on here. And yeah, but if they thought outside the box, if they brought new ideas to the table, maybe mixing of other genres on here, consistently doing that. Now, I'm not telling them how to make their own music. They can make what they want. But me, as the listener, I'm just saying what I would want. Fair? Fair. So, yeah. I feel if they did that, we would definitely be in for a very, very powerful comeback album from the band. Unfortunately, though, I didn't get that here. And if they could tighten up with the writing, too, that would be better, too. But that's just my opinion. That's what I think. You could take it how you want. So I'm feeling a 2.5 out of 5 on this album. Yeah. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, MetallicA-72 seasons. Till we meet again.